Hey, friends! Barkey J. Dog here, back with another movie review. So this past weekend, I went to see this here movie, Complete Unknown, starring Timothy Chalamet. And I gotta say, I really liked it. So, believe the hype on this one, I guess. The movie's good. Like the cast, Chalamet channels Bob Dylan. It's amazing. I never much cared for Dylan myself, but the man's a legend. You can't deny his talent. He moved the needle. And we all know at least some of his songs, like Blowin' in the Wind, or the one he wrote that William Shatner made famous, Tambourine Man. The movie follows Dylan's rise to stardom from, I think, 1961 until 1965, where, at the Newport Folk Festival, he committed heresy. Dylan went electric, meaning he used an electric guitar. Now, to the fans of folk music at the time, that was a cardinal sin, a major crime, because they felt the acoustic instruments were more in keeping with the spirit of folk music. So, they saw him as a traitor. But the movie is good. The only drawback I can think of is that they did this biopic thing they do where Dylan, in this case, runs into someone or interacts with someone and asks, "Hey man, who are you? What's your name?" And the person replies, "Oh, I'm insert future famous name here." So they do that 3 or 4 times. A little annoying, but hey, that's a minor quibble. This one is at least a 3-paw movie, maybe a bit more, so well worth your time to go see, and it's worth your money. But I'm not here to review A Complete Unknown, although I guess I just did. The point is, it put me in mind of another film, which I'm going to share with you. See, A Complete Unknown is all about a singer-songwriter's rise to stardom. And this movie we're going to see shows what happens on the other end, when fame fades away. So this time, we're talking about One Trick Pony from 1980, starring Paul Simon. Our story goes like this. Our hero is Jonah, a singer-songwriter from back in the day. He was a big hit when he started out and shot to fame during the protest movement with an anti-war song. But over time, he started to fade away. He keeps right in there pitching, but audiences aren't turning out anymore. He has to play smaller and smaller venues. He writes the same kind of material that made him a star. He won't give up on his band either, insisting they're part of the package, part of the sound. In short, he doesn't want to change and doesn't understand why he should have to. He's on the road a lot and is separated from his wife and young son. So she wants a divorce, even though they love each other and their kid. But she just can't put up with the guy and his quixotic dream anymore. She wants him to get a real job and move on from rock and roll, which she sees as kid stuff. He's also under pressure from a record executive to try something new. This guy's wife even tries to convince him. In the best possible way, if you ask me. Oh yeah, odd sellout. You know it. The thing is, his music is just fine, but it's not in demand anymore. He's a legacy brand now. He's a golden oldies guy. They tell him his new stuff is just the same old stuff, and people want new stuff. Jonah wants to be a success on his own terms, but he's struggling to make any headway. Sounds like the guy's on YouTube. Believe me, I understand how he feels here. Anyway, does he give up on his dream? Does he give up on his band? Does he change with the times, or does he sell out? In our cast, we have Paul Simon, of course. He certainly delivers on the soundtrack side, performing and singing and all of that. This isn't a comedy, but it has a fairly light tone for the most part. He's really good in the lighter moments, but to be honest, he's a bit forced when it comes to the heavy drama stuff. There's not too much of that going on for him to do, though, so it's fine. There's a couple of sweet moments where he plays the dad with his kid. I like those interactions, and His interactions with the band, too, it just felt real. I don't really believe that this hot chick would go for him, but then her husband might have told her to. It's hard to say, but you can buy that, given the type of guy this record executive is. But Simon fits this role, not surprising since he wrote the story. So it's an honest look at how a one-trick pony like Jonah can't maintain success without adapting to changing times. His character comes off as likable, and you can root for him. Blair Brown plays Jonah's long-suffering wife. We last saw her in my review of Altered States, where her husband in that one opens a portal in the space-time continuum by using mushroom dope. She was in The Days and Nights of Molly Dodd, Space Cowboys, just lots of stuff. She's very good here. Rip Torn plays Mr. Fox, the record executive. He's interesting. He doesn't have too much to do, but he makes the best of it. Fox is sort of a tough guy with a sort of a fake friendliness with a hard edge underneath that he uses to steamroll over people to get what he wants. Again, Simon probably met people like Fox in the music industry all the time. Fox's wife is played by Joan Hackett. Again, not too much to do, but she does it well. Mare Winningham plays a waitress here, and she too only has a brief role, but she makes the most of it. She was in St. Elmo's Fire and a bunch of other stuff. Harry Shearer from The Simpsons plays Bernie. Again, not too much to do, but he's here. Richard T. plays the band's keyboardist, and I loved him. He does get a bit to do, both singing and playing as well as acting. You'll also spot Daniel Stern from Home Alone, among a lot of other things. He plays this Hare Krishna guy at the Cleveland airport in just his 5th screen role. A few years later, he shot to fame as Jaffo in Blue Thunder, and then, of course, went on to appear in the aforementioned Home Alone. And I didn't even know they were in this thing, but after Jonah and the band finish a set, the crowd goes wild for the next act. The B-52s! They're doing Rock Lobster! They are the example held up to Jonah of something new, something audiences are responding to. How music has changed. They're name dropped as the B-52s by Fox and everything. David Sanborn does a sax solo, and Merv Griffin, of all people, cameos too. He's a backup singer in the studio. We also see a performance from the Lovin' Spoonful, and there's even a cameo by Tiny Tim. What's not to love? But the real star here is Simon's music. He contributed no less than 11 songs to the soundtrack, both as a background narrative, background music, and performed on camera. The movie looks like it was all shot on location and has a reality, a gritty look that complements the story. Wish we could see more of that today and less green screen and CGI. And we also get a brief glimpse, at least, into how a record is made, or was at the time, so that's interesting. The soundtrack is good. We see familiar faces pop up. Simon fits the role, and it doesn't come off as a vanity project or anything. The film is an honest look at the music industry and what an artist needs to do to be successful. Namely, change with the times, adapt to new ideas, choose your battles wisely, and sell out. Or fade away when everyone else has moved on. No doubt this is the same choice many once famous artists had to face. So all told, all elements combined and considered, I'm giving One Trick Pony 3 paws up. And in a weird way, it was a nice compliment to A Complete Unknown, a movie made over 40 years later. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.